Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff, and we are going live right this very moment. Chip, it is great to see you here. Great co host, hanging out on the other side of the screen as usual. Great to see you here on the chain. Guess what? XRP on demand. Imagine XRP on demand. We're getting ready, just waiting. We're all just in with bated breath, waiting for them to flip the switch for 2022. Are you ready for this? And the big news is that FTX, man, they had a $1 billion pledge to save humanity. What?
Man, there's so much good stuff again coming on tonight. I'm really happy about tonight's show. Super good, amazing stuff. Jeff, let me know when you're ready. Give me the sign. Give me the sign, Jeff. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready, man, but I want the sign.
right.
Give me the sign. What's the sign look like? You ready?
The sign, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Waiting for the bat signal.
I was waiting for the sign, man. I was like, is there a sign? Is like the sign, or is there a hand signal? Is there a sign? Is there some kind of a sign?
It would have been awesome. Look at that.
Your
Look at that haircut today.
Dude.
Look at that hair.
I got a little bit of I got a little boof in the front. It's a little Conan O'Brien hair going on there, right there. Yeah.
Moving from Max Headroom straight to Conan O'Brien. Nice.
Yep. It's all good. It's all good. Look at this. There's just so much stuff going on. But Jeff, you talked about flipping the switch. Oh, we have got the official switch being flicked or turned on or whatever.
Switch flipper.
Switch turner. We have that video coming up. You guys are going to want to see that. And I think this would be an appropriate story to lead this off because there's been so much back and forth between you and I. But Jeremy Hogan, you know him, you love him. You can't live without him. So he obviously weighs in a lot on his videos, but he put this tweet out and he said, yes, a 1-hour settlement discussion happened a couple months ago. This is obviously SEC v. Ripple. It didn't settle, which means the next most likely settlement time, Mr. B and Coining 203, would be at mediation. See arrow below, which would be hosted by one and only Judge Netburn.
You know when the next settlement is? At Burn Steakhouse.
Burn Steakhouse is where it's going to be, Jeff. That's official. I'm feeling like that's going to happen. And it says right here, if you look at number 9, all counsel must meet face-to-face or via video conference for at least 1 hour to discuss settlement within 14 days following the close of the fact discovery. That happened, Jeff. That happened.
What happened to the fact discovery? Man.
Well, that's gone on for 3 years now or something like that.
I know. I've lost track. It's on for so long.
it's so long. I mean, nobody knows.
We're starting discovery. When are you going to end?
Forever and a day, and then add several days to that, and then they're gonna basically object to that. They're gonna say you didn't add enough days, and then you have to add 70 more days to that. But that's what happened. And look at this, Jeff, right here. It didn't settle. Well, is anybody surprised? Why didn't it settle? Because both sides weren't willing to give the other side what they wanted.
No, that's not possible. We're not going to see settlement anytime soon. You know, you've got
not at this stage, Jeff.
The animus of the SEC, of Daddy G. Yeah, there's just right now. I don't see climate towards Daddy G.
Daddy G. Yeah, the SEC. Right. You coined the SEC and Daddy G. I was like, boom, boom.
I don't see it.
Just scratching. The headphones on.
There you go. There you go. Daddy G with the
what
SEC.
What up, Chip and the other dude? Funny thing is he doesn't know.
What up, Gray Man?
The funny thing is, Gray Man, I don't know who the other dude is. I don't know if you think that's the other dude or if I'm the other dude. But
who's the other dude?
Well, it's funny because Gray
dude.
So he's kind of started a thing there because
that's okay. You're Simon and the other dude.
That's Simon and Kef. Yeah, that's better known as. But he started it. I love how he's. This is the great thing about On the Chain and the OTC family. You start something, man. You stick on that joke for a long time. That's New York tradition. Right. That's how it was when I grew up. Man, you stayed on that thing until you burned it out. It could take years too, and I love it.
Years.
Other dude, I love that. Because you know what's funny is I saw the comment the other day. And he said, when you went solo, Jeff, and it was like, "Hey, where's the other dude?
Where's the other dude?"
That was me. I love it. Jumping back to this, you got number. So here they go right here. Now he points out the arrow, and he drew an arrow on there, but it said counsel for parties proposed the following alternative dispute resolution mechanism for this case: blank, a settlement conference before a magistrate judge. And that's what he was pointing out here, saying would be. What did he say that? Yeah. The settlement time would be at mediation. See the arrow below. And that was what he was pointing out in the arrow. And then Crypto Wolf chimed in and said, well, since Judge Netmerd has seen all the ETH and XRP documents, then could she highly recommend the SEC to settle with Ripple? And Jeremy came back and said, that's why I mentioned it. She knows exactly what's in the emails, etc. And if I'm correct in that the SEC is the problem child here, which we've known all along, is there anybody on the earth that hasn't suspected the SEC as being the problem child?
Hey, that's a good poll to take.
Jeff, why don't you put that up there? 99%
like
right, because there'll always be one person, same person that gives our podcast in the first 2 minutes of going live a downvote every single time, and without fail. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is we got away with it. But he says, if I'm correct, the SEC is the problem child here. That could make a big difference. A good mediator can really work miracles sometimes. I thought that was pretty good, Jeff. That was a pretty interesting sort of a statement there.
Like that. By
Jeremy Hogan. And yeah, there's a lot of cool things going on. Asheesh Birla, he's really been impressing me lately, man. He's just been out there. I love to see him out there doing things. He's been on the, he was, next thing you know, he was standing up on the school board, like and ousting those school board members. They recalled him. It was like 70-30, 60-40, and like 65-35, something like that. It was a landslide. And he was on TV.
All right.
Talking
the
about
latest poll. The latest poll,
what do you got, Jeff?
Oh, it just closed.
What do you got?
Let's see. The latest poll. Which entity is cause of a prolonged trial in the SEC v. Ripple? Is it the SEC, Ripple, Daddy G, or Satoshi?
Ooh, I think I know. I think I know my selection. I'm going with Satoshi.
Daddy G's up 26% of the votes already.
Wow, Daddy G, man.
SEC is leading with 75. Ripple's got 4% of the vote already.
Does it?
I predict that Satoshi's going to win this thing.
I said Satoshi.
But you know what is clear is that Lazy Lab Rat
got
99 problems, but ODL ain't one of them.
Ain't one. I got 99 problems. ODL ain't one, Jeff.
That's right.
That's a very, very solid statement right there.
All right. So,
by the way, since we're on a Hogan theme here, why don't we get? There was another good one by him today. Let's unwrap it here. So
this is like Hogan's Heroes.
This is Hogan's Heroes right here. Yeah, Hogan is a hero. There's no doubt. So 103 says, let's step back from the motion and think like a trial lawyer. You ready for this, Jeff? Thinking like a trial lawyer. Put the trial lawyer hat on. At trial, Garlinghouse testifies about the meeting with Roisman. Absolutely no indication that Roisman or Estrabrook are disputing what was said. Otherwise, the SEC would gladly produce the notes.
I'd like to see those notes.
Right, and this is basically talking about James Filan put this out that Garlinghouse filed a response to the SEC's opposition to Mr. Garlinghouse's motion seeking the disclosure of the notes of the November 9th, 2018 meeting between the former SEC Commissioner Roisman and Mr. Garlinghouse, the Estrabrook notes. There you go.
The Estrabrook notes.
Estrabrook notes.
Nice. It's always good. It's always good when you have a name for your notes.
That's
you ever name your notes?
No, but I have named my vehicles, Jeff. I have done that before.
Imagine if you had to name your notes. That'd be like a daily occurrence. And then you refer back to them.
Just so you know, the name of my vehicle is Gray Machine. Just so you know.
Green Machine.
No, Gray.
Gray.
Gray Machine. By the way, Green Machine was the predecessor. You're not even funny, Jeff. The predecessor was called Green Machine.
The Green Machine.
It was Green Machine. It was a green.
Remember that, man? The Green Machine from back in the day when you were a kid.
That's why I called it Green Machine. It was awesome.
Nice.
And then I just said, well, it's Gray Machine now because it's got to keep the machine thing going on there. And then he said,
Oh, the green machine was the takeoff of the big wheel.
Yeah, it was like just something like a thing like that. And then so number 2, if Reisman and Eastbrook, he spelled it wrong, but it's Eastbrook. Eastbrook go turncoat, they could testify that Garlinghouse lied about his testimony. And what happens then? That's right. Ripple gets to impeach the heck out of them with the Eastbrook notes, which lose DPP privilege the moment they talk about the meeting. Ooh, it gets very good here. And then you got, which means the SEC has no evidence at all about the meeting, but can only argue that Garlinghouse's testimony is self-serving, and all testimony is self-serving. That's very weak sauce. ×2, he says.
Very ×2. Nice.
Very ×2 weak sauce.
Weak
Super
sauce.
Weak. Remember when you used to say weak sauce?
I do
used
remember
to say money. That was so money, Jeff. That was money.
Oh, that was money.
That was because of Swingers. Everything was money in that movie. Everything
Oh man, that was
money.
the greatest movie ever.
It was one of the greatest movies
greatest
ever. Yeah.
movies of all times was Swingers.
Some of the best bits ever. And then by which I mean to say, whatever the judge rules, the SEC is already dead here. Man, this is turning out to be quite this is turning out to be awesome.
I like that last statement there. That's really interesting. You know, whatever the judge rules, the SEC is already dead here. They're done. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I was trying to the other day, you know, just put a fork in it. You know, it's done. Case closed. You know, there's way too much. I mean, at this point, you know, if the judge is going to rule in any other direction, and this is where the SEC would think would start groveling back to say, hey, you know, we want to have a settlement here. I honestly, though, I still don't believe that the SEC is going to be willing to settle. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening.
There's no because they're going to lose so much face. By the way, this is we were talking about Hogan's Heroes. Bob Crane was murdered. It's remained unsolved. Was it Putin? Or no. By the way, there's a really good. I watched a documentary on Bob Crane. Did a lot of reading about him. Went down a rabbit hole one time. The whole Hogan's Heroes thing was such an anomaly, Jeff, that they were just like hanging out in behind Nazi territory, just coming and going as they please with tunnels and all kinds of weird stuff. Like a show like that could never work today, but back then you were like, yeah, that's cool. I don't know.
It'd be interesting though. Imagine, man, we got to reclaim the good old days and just when fun
was fun
and boys were boys and
women were women, Jeff. They were women. Women were women as well. I mean, if you're gonna be, if you're gonna come right down to it,
everything was just the way
nothing was off limits. There was no. It was
off limits.
Everything was fair game. Everything was fair game.
That.
And the more
it should be that way.
And you laughed hard. Now it's like, oh no, we can't say that. We'll offend someone. That's the whole point of comedy back then. Offensive comedy. You offended somebody and you laughed your ass off about it, Jeff.
Man, can you imagine Archie Bunker today?
Archie Bunker was a funny dude.
It just wouldn't be funny now. It'd just be bland.
Well, what was funny? Well, the best part about him was he was so over the top with everything, Jeff. Every single part. He hated pretty much everybody, everything. I still love when he said that. On the way to remember that? That was awesome. Guys make hit parade.
You guys didn't realize that tonight is the Chip Comedy Hour.
No, man.
Chip, this is
vibing with it, man.
This is impersonation hour.
Just vibing with it, Jeff. I just all of a sudden it came to mind. Well, let's move on to some really awesome news because look at this. We've been hearing about this for so long, and it's finally here.
It is. Here. Bob Crane.
Hey, Ed, what's up? So here it is right here. Tranglo enables Ripple's on-demand liquidity service across its 25 corridors. Bam.
25 payment corridors.
And I really love this right here because it's great to have headless people floating around with an earth. I don't know what that means, Jeff, but it looks kind of interesting. It's like the smallest.
It's a little awkward.
The smallest. I mean, it's like a neck, a thin pencil neck. If almost to a point, it's got hair flowing off the Ripple. And it's got a little hairpiece on the Tranglo. I don't know what that is, but it's awesome. I love it.
Oh my God, it's awesome. It's
I don't know what it means.
Outlandish. It's something that you're not going to forget about. It's kind of like the back in the day when Quiznos first came out.
Oh no, we're at Quiznos again. It's the
Quiznos
conversation
commercials.
about Quiznos again. Yeah, of course I remember, Jeff. Of course I remember.
I'm still traumatized by that ad. The first time it came out, and they had rats in a sub ad. What
It
trauma!
shouldn't have worked, but somehow it did for a while.
It
By the way, I was
did
just
for a
reading
while
about this.
until it didn't.
Jeff, I was reading about a UK. So this is the kind of funny stuff, right? First, they're going to stop the vodka. Apparently, there were these two meerkats, and I'll find the story. There were two meerkats in a UK ad because of the dust up over in Ukraine. They pulled them from the ad. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Are meerkats from that region? I don't know. I thought last time I checked they were like living in Africa, but who knows, Jeff?
I don't,
Could have been. I mean, it's getting so bizarre. I don't even know what to say anymore.
I don't know anymore. Why don't people just come out and say nothing? And then that's it.
It's just crazy.
All right. So what's up with Tranglo? This is exciting. Why? Because they are going full-fledged on-demand liquidity. How cool!
Hang on a second. No.
Went into weird zoom mode, but the Trianglo, maybe there's got to be a reason why they don't have a head.
Tranglo, Jeff. It's not Tranglo. There's no low in there. It's just Tranglo.
It's triangle low.
No, man.
Triangle low.
It's just Tranglo. There's no other weird part of it.
Trianglo with the headless people.
Tranglo, like Trang. Oh no, I didn't want to do that.
I'll pull it up so I can.
Well, I hit the wrong button. I destroyed every possible. Hang on a second.
So D-Wall is saying the reason why they took the cats out is because they speak with Russian accents.
Oh, the meerkats?
The meerkats.
That's
what's wrong with that?
So what?
Well, no.
You can't have Russian accents, Jeff. Russian accents
can't have Russian
are
accents anymore. Those are off limits. Everybody remove the Russian accent. Kind of sucks if you have a Russian accent.
Jeff, should we talk in Russian accents from here on out? I mean, just I got to brush up my Russian accent. I don't know if it's any good. But
I drop a lot of
but anyway, so yeah. Well, what's funny about this, for a second there I had like some kind of a brain fade. I go, Jeff, how can it be, because here in the United States it's still the 28th, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this the wrong story? No, it's March 1st. This is the future.
And I don't know about reading these stories from the future again.
It came out a couple hours ago, right? It's like a future story.
Never ends well.
Yeah, it's like the old. So here it is, March 1st. No, that's just 2021. What the heck? That's 2022. What is going on here, man? Comes after this. I think that's a typo. Comes after the success of pilot ODL deployment in September 2021.
Oh no, we
got the date wrong on this, Jeff. We're proofreading as we go.
Well, that's what we do here. We proofread, check out different things.
Yeah.
Can you pull it up, or are you not? You're going to keep it hidden.
I have it right here
from the people.
No, but I was going to say, if you look right here, it's like March 2021, right there.
Look
over here, it's March 2022. It's like, what the hell's going on?
So which is the correct date?
Well,
so which is the correct date? The one that they released today, or the one they released last year? So are we in the future, or are we in the past?
No, I think we're good. Success of its pilot ODL deployment on September 2021. See, so that's after that already kind of tells us where we're at with 250,000 transactions worth of USD, 48 million processed in the first 100 days. Press time, ODL transactions via Ripple's global financial network, RippleNet, originate from markets including, check this out, Australia, Japan, Philippines, Singapore, other markets to follow. Ripple, the leading provider of the enterprise blockchain and crypto solutions for cross-border payments, acquired 40% of Tranglo in 2021 to scale RippleNet and the ODL service. This, to me, Jeff, let's talk about this. Let's mini workshop this thing, because remember, a lot was made of, I think at the time, Ripple put like 10%, the equivalent of 10% of MoneyGram. It was interesting. It was like they were working on the FX stuff. They were sending them back then. Remember, they were sending those bigger sort of payments, and they were experimenting, trying to find kind of the right, I guess, move or whatever it's supposed to look for. Now we have, this happened a year ago, but Ripple gets 40% of Tranglo, and now I think Tranglo is far more adept and more akin to the vision of the cross-border payments, then MoneyGram was trying to just implement some things.
Yeah, I think there were definitely some issues with MoneyGram, but MoneyGram decided they were going to bail, mainly because they couldn't handle the publicity. But it's interesting with MoneyGram is that they came out and they were very cognizant of this notion that that it benefited them. That they actually were able to generate good margins. This is really interesting. All the press has picked up this article from the future that could be in the past.
Well, I think
This
they have
Tranglo.
but they haven't put a press release out since 2021 probably, so they don't update that part. They start changing everything else out. But I'm like, well, what it's tomorrow's date or in the future or the past. I mean, it's just really hard to navigate.
So PR Newswire launched this an hour ago.
Yeah, it's brand new. It just came out.
Singapore, March 1st, 2022, PR Newswire. And then they all start talking about the deployment was in September of 2021. So it really wasn't that long ago, if you think about it, right? Enabled Ripple's on-demand liquidity. So this is all recent, but it's coming after the success of the pilot that they did of the ODL deployment in September.
Correct.
So 250,000 transactions.
That's a lot,
worth $48 million processed in the first 100 days. That's impressive.
I think so. Look at that. It all starts with the tip, Jeff. Tip of the iceberg. Some K-HUD. Thank you very much. All starts with the tip.
Of the iceberg.
Then we have Parsa Persian. He says, "Hi guys, thanks for the content. Are you holding any projects less than a year old?" I will never tell, Parsa Persian. I'll never tell.
But this project, based on the PR Newswire, is new because this is all just happening right now. So
no,
from
it's
September,
not. No, it's not. It's an old story.
It's not an old story. The story is actually new. It's based off of the fact that they had a successful deployment, a pilot deployment in September of 2021. So we're looking at, not that long ago, but now recently they just enabled Ripple's on-demand liquidity service for all of its payment corridors. That's the news. So before they were just deploying it as a pilot. So you go from September to now to March, you got a pilot program, and now they've gone live with it. That's the news. Tranglo.
Tranglo. It's
there
just
is no I in it.
There's no Trangelos. There's no Lobidelos. There's none of that stuff. Jeff, answer the question.
So this is it. So then here
Jeff,
it says
answer the question.
What's the question?
Are you holding any projects less than a year old?
Shiba Inu. No, that's about over a year old. Let's see. Something less than a year old. Baby Shiba Inu.
Valhalla.io. That's one of them.
Valhalla.
Not Valhalla.
Oh.
It's Valhalla.
Man, they mess everything up.
RHT.
How about Ledger City?
Yeah, Ledger City hasn't gone
Ledger
out
City.
yet.
We're gonna have the CEO of that project will be on with us next week.
Yeah,
so that's
RHT
new. That's less than a year old. Vagabond.
Vagabond's another one. Yep.
Let's see.
There's a couple of them that are just
a couple that we covered that weren't a year old. But most of the coverage is on these projects that have been around a little bit. They've percolated a little bit. Now they're actually worth talking about. How about that?
Yeah, how about that, Jeff?
Do you know that Tranglo has been around since 2008?
Yeah, finally, sometimes you're ahead of the curve and you kind of just catch up.
It's cool to be ahead of the curve and get news from the future.
Elysium's another one. It's there's another good one too. Let me see.
Songbird, which is a canary project.
There's a new solo token. This coming there. Did they do the drop on the 28th? I thought I saw today, I believe.
Oh, XRP panic. XRP panic. Our cassettes less than a year old. I don't know. I don't know if they are less than a year old, but
we play the music.
Here we go. Let's find out. Let's go back in time and see what it has to say.
The usual, sir.
Please.
How do you ask for the cassettes video without asking for the cassettes video? Just like that, people. That's how it's done.
Just like that.
That's how it's done. That's
The
exactly how it's
usual,
done,
sir.
Jeff. The usual, sir.
Please.
Please.
Man.
Do this.
Oh, Casper and Legacy. There we go.
I know Casper yet.
Right. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, Tectonic. Not familiar with
Tectonic's
that one.
less than a year old.
Hey, what happened to Casino Coin?
Casino Coin's still there, man. It's been around for many years, though. Even the reboot. Even the reboot, dude.
The reboot. The revamp of the revamp.
Yeah, the revamp of the revamp.
Still looks like it's alive and well. Look at that. Let's see. Against all odds, Casino Coin is a digital currency developed specifically for regulating the gaming industry. You can download Zum.
Which one?
Casino Coin. We go to casino. We go to casino so we can make money.
Yeah, casino.
The casino, we make dollars.
Are you doing your Russian accent, Jeff? We're gonna get
It's not very good.
It's
not a very good one.
No, it's horrible, Jeff. It's horrible.
You do it.
I listen for a while. If I listen for a while, I can do it. I'll pull it up. I'll listen
go to the casino.
Let's see that. Here we go, right here.
Crypto
so this
world.
is, we were talking about Asheesh Birla. This is Asheesh Birla on Crypto World. It's on a CNBC. I think it's a web-only based thing, but here we go. Let's listen in a little bit.
It's not as easy as it might sound for the Russian government to get around sanctions using crypto. Liquidity is one big problem. It's hard to find places to buy large amounts of Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency. These markets are what they call thinly traded compared to the rest of global foreign exchange. The Bitcoin ruble pair, for example, maxes out at $200,000 per trade, even on the world's largest exchanges.
There is this narrative out there that, hey, if you shut off SWIFT, you shut off Russia, they'll just use Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies to move money. But Russia needs to move $50 billion a day. And just by comparison, the ruble to Bitcoin market is about $200,000 of liquidity at any given moment. So that is, completely unlikely that they're going to be able to use crypto to move money and put a dent in that $50 billion. Secondly, even if they were to move money, the endpoints to get money off, crypto are highly regulated.
Ripple pulled some of this data for us. If you look at the Bitcoin US dollar pair, that max transaction is much higher. It's about $3.5 million. Sounds like a big number, but in the context of the billions of dollars in foreign exchange that Russia would otherwise be.
That's it. What happened?
Sorry about that.
We were just getting excited.
Yeah, sorry about that. I hit the wrong. What's hitting wrong? I was just starting to get to the good stuff, but hang on a second. I still have it. It's just.
Oh man,
still have it. Here we go.
But that, really interesting stuff here.
Yeah, so I love when they go like, just ban Bitcoin.
Liquidity, but sanctions likely take away that option at this point.
So what a crypto exchange does is they take in, for example, US dollars like Coinbase does. A bank is helping them facilitate that, taking in those deposits. And then once it's on the system, the exchange, it's traded for all sorts of different cryptocurrencies. But the reverse is true as well. When you want to trade out of a crypto into US dollars, that again leverages a bank.
There are black market options and lesser known cryptocurrencies, but those are even less liquid. Exchanges are right now on high alert for sanctioned Russian accounts, and global exchanges are also subject to the same anti-money laundering rules as banks. No matter where a crypto transaction happens, it's also traceable. Data firm Chainalysis is among those tracking.
Jeff, what I love about this is, sorry, I got it's happened. Lag hasn't happened in a long time, but yeah.
Yep.
Well, how do you talk about on-demand liquidity without talking about on-demand liquidity? Asheesh Birla did it perfectly. They don't have the liquidity.
They don't have the liquidity.
We do. But I don't think she was smart to play along, but it's like, yeah, the problem is the whole liquidity. It's like, how do you talk about on-demand liquidity without saying it? Talk about $200,000 is what 200,000 USD is what the ruble is to Bitcoin on a daily basis. But don't worry, Jeff. I'm pretty sure Russia's going to be running off of Bitcoin. We should just ban it everywhere.
It's kind of funny, the narrative. Yeah, I like how they want to go gangbusters on the Bitcoin to the ruble, and then they have these other assets that just don't have the liquidity. So, but could you imagine? It's like people are watching these public wallets like hawks. Now, could you imagine all of a sudden there's a public wallet? Oh, this public wallet started trading $60 billion a day. they're gonna say, no, which kind of whale? Which whale is that? Whale is that moving $60 billion every single day through Bitcoin?
Yeah, come on, man.
I mean, that's
can you imagine your heart
kind of ludicrous.
Stopping if you're like, oh, geez, I think I had the wrong number wrong. Oops, it's 60. Oops, it just went into a hole somewhere. And everybody,
you wake up, you check your account. You're like, I've got $60 billion in my account.
And all the Bitcoin holders are like, yay, more Bitcoin erased from the face of the earth. You're still like, yay, that's awesome.
What do you do? You wake up one day and you've got a significant amount of Bitcoin sitting in your wallet or XRP or something else, meaning that somebody made a mistake and actually sent it there.
Yeah, if I scream like a little schoolgirl, I'll be honest. I'll be like, yeah. And then you'd realize it's bad, and you got to realize that, okay, that's not mine. Okay, I got to figure out a way to figure this out.
And maybe it's coming from a nation that might hunt you down. It doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's all doable, man. It can all be done, right? I mean, it's not like it's not going to be discovered.
So the poll, Chip, which entity is the cause of a prolonged trial in the SEC v. Ripple? So I'm ending the poll right now. It went on for 25 minutes. And what's interesting about it is that the SEC seems to be victorious as the one who caused the prolonged trial by 65%. Daddy G is responsible according to 20% of the people, Ripple 10%, and Satoshi gets 3%. Now that total poll only had, let's see, 185 votes. And I think based on that, cross-section of the world, we have 185 votes, cross-section of people that are appreciative of cryptocurrency around the world that are all tuned in right now watching on the chain. So, and that's watching right now live. So I think that's a good cross-section that the SEC is responsible, followed up by Daddy G. So between the two of them, they get 85%.
Are you saying Satoshi has nothing to do with it then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, someone thinks so. At least 3% of the respondents.
There you go. So
I want to know what happened to the other 2% of the.
Well, what does it say? The universe. What's the sample size? So we can kind of like.
Our sample size. We had 185 votes.
That's not bad, Jeff. It's getting, these polls are really getting strong. I'm really liking these polls a lot.
Yeah, it's a good poll.
Yeah, I didn't even vote for Satoshi. I just felt like I should vote for Satoshi. It started everything.
That's it, Satoshi.
So Jeff, you know that David Schwartz yesterday tweeted out a little
shout
poll.
Out to K-Hud real quick.
Do that.
You should put your mama. She might have got 1%. That's true. May have.
Very true. Yesterday, David Schwartz put out his own poll. He wanted to know what date he should flick the switch, and this was one. And this is one of the responses, Jeff. So this is good.
And regularly interacts with industry for future regulation. That conversation is helping the UK be a leader in the market. We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. And regularly interact.
There you go.
That's classic.
Good stuff. When do you flip the switch exactly, right, Jeff? I mean, it's like, that's fantastic.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So by the way, the poll hasn't concluded yet. Why don't we get some answers? Let's vote as the OTC family right now. Let's go. So he says, when should I flip the switch? February 29th doesn't exist. February 30th doesn't exist. February 31st doesn't exist. So
we want to see the results, but if we go with February 29th,
that's a leap year, technically. When is the leap year? Hey Siri, when is a leap year?
Here's what I found from wikipedia.org. February 29th is a date that usually occurs every 4 years and is called the leap day.
Well, that's great, but what day is that? When does that happen?
All right.
There you go. So I think
Robert Morris says 2024. So I say we go with February 29th, 2024 for the win.
For the win. Let's do it. Bam. It's a people just wanted to see the results. They're like, I ain't playing this. I ain't no fool. I know those dates are dumb. I saw some reality show I was watching. He goes, she says, come on, when are we getting married? He goes, I told you, February 30th.
Yeah.
Right after the 10th, right after the 10th of never, or when hell freezes over, one of those. So we have to throw out just the results because that's not real. And if we do that, and if we do that, then we have February 29th is the winner because just show the results. Not, yeah. Somebody,
really
but,
answer. But you're just basically saying I refuse to participate in the poll.
And 31st was a close second. That weird?
So that means we got to wait a whole year for them to flip the switch. One more year. So he's making that statement. Let's see what some of the comments were. Someone must have commented on the fact that February 29th is in 2024. Someone must have done the research. They don't have the on-the-chain community doing the lookup, the smartest and the brightest. So I'm sure there won't be any.
Michael was the one that posted that. This is the this was the one that I believe was the full. You still hear it or no?
No.
So this was the full version. So when Garlinghouse is the moon dancing out into the moon, you know, you got hit the Doge, little Doge dude. So yeah.
Still no music. That's all right.
No, I didn't put the music on. I'm not playing music.
Oh, that's right.
No, I'm not playing music only because I wanted to show these here. But that was the longer one. It will be quick as a wink. XRP, former SEC lawyer, says Ripple will win the lawsuit. XRP versus BTC. BTC
Look at that.
partners.
Look at those partners.
It's an impressive list, Jeff. I mean, when you look down the list, it's kind of hard not to notice all the great partners. Salvador, look at Jeff. Look, El Salvador.
Oh my God, that's too much.
That's some funny stuff right there. XRP partners, El Salvador. So yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, the left version is just like thousands of partners for XRP, and then BTC partners is just El Salvador. It's gonna start somewhere, Jeff. Oh man, what did I do? I clicked on something I shouldn't have clicked on. All right. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, they're all kind of the same. MoneyGram was the real test. Tranglo, the first domino. Only one blockchain has returned zero error in 10 years. The only blockchain was designed to replace SWIFT. The banks won't change the vehicle. They'll only upgrade the engine. XRP will power SWIFT 2.0. Just wanted to say, 20,000 followers. I love when people jump in on a tweet and just say we hit 20,000 followers. It's ridiculous. Well, why would you do that? Why, I say? And then this one here, this story here, Jeff. Look at this.
Okay, new poll is up.
What do you got? What's the new poll?
I'm waiting for it to go live.
All right.
There it is.
While you do that, let me throw this.
Who do you turn to for financial advice? Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, Warren Buffett, or a cartoon bear?
Cartoon bear by a mile, Jeff. That's my. The only reason I got into XRP, I've told this story a million times because I had a cartoon bear. I'm like, that's cool. What else? What other reason do you need? You get a cartoon bear, 589. I'm down.
Let's see how the world sees it, and we'll soon have the results.
I'm down with that whole thing.
Warren Buffett's got 10% of the vote, 9%, and he's slipping.
Being
what I can guarantee you, though, is that we will have 100% of the votes in by the time we end the poll.
Let's do
Guaranteed.
That's right. By the time we end the poll, 100% of the votes will be
Actually, I am going to the ballot drop-off location.
Oh, are
So
you?
if you want to
Okay.
stuff the ballot box for
Yeah, better
Elizabeth
get
Warren
going.
or Warren Buffett, then you can head down to the street corner and you
Best
can
get
dump those over there.
stuffing. Look at this one here, Jeff. Bank of America. We see no crypto winter, given the growth in user adoption and developer activity. Whoa.
Interesting. I like that.
The banks have had like quite the turnaround. Went from hating on it to kind of like semi-liking it. Now they're saying there's no crypto winner. There's way too much user adoption. So, yeah, the crypto winners are over. I don't know. I don't know about over. Jeff, so this is something that I found interesting, and I really need to get your take on it. I just want to know.
Loaded is trying to mail in his vote. We do not accept mail-in votes here. It's not going to go too well.
I don't have a Dropbox either. So I wanted to read this, Jeff. I'm going to read through this, and then I want to get your reaction. This is live. You haven't seen this before, but Thomas Silkjaer.
Never seen it. Never read it.
Thomas Silkjaer put together a little tweet thread. He said, personal comment. In the light of a recent news of SWIFT cutting out Russia, been several comments of the situation benefiting XRP. These comments, beside being revolting and tasteless by many lengths, largely based on ignorance and lack of understanding.
All right.
There are the shills in the crypto community solely reacting to keywords rather than facts. And in this case,
keywords are good.
Are careless about the situation and completely disconnected from reality. Mind who you listen to. While no one can ban anyone from using decentralized blockchains directly, any solutions built on top to move fiat cross borders is not. Fiat has to turn into crypto in the sending end and back to fiat in the receiving end. These on and off ramps exchanges are heavily regulated, and many have been proactive in monitoring UA/RU based traffic since the invasion started. Don't think for a second that blockchains are an easy alternative to SWIFT for moving fiat. Thoughts, Jeff?
Interesting. So I want to single out one drastic point here that
please do.
SWIFT. Let's just focus in on the one element of SWIFT as a messaging component and not a platform to move currency or provide for settlement.
Wait, say that again?
That kind of nullifies everything we're reading here, unfortunately. No, I'm just saying that, you know, they're looking at blockchain being an alternative to SWIFT for moving fiat, that they aren't, according to this, right? But SWIFT doesn't move fiat. SWIFT is a messaging platform that allows banks to communicate with one another about a movement of fiat. But the SWIFT isn't on its own a platform for the movement of fiat. There's always going to be a third party involved in settlement, et cetera, and Nostro Vostro accounts and all those other variabilities that go along with it. However, he brings up a solid point, because the powers that be in the media will reference this notion that, you know, they need to go after the exchanges, or like we said, they want to target Bitcoin because they're worried about Russia turning to one of these exchanges to start moving their, completing their cross-border transactions. But to his point, though, they are extremely heavily regulated, you know, to the point where they have to meet KYC and AML. Now, I'm sure there's some exchanges out there that aren't. Is Russia going to start utilizing those? I think Russia has enough mechanism to start moving money. You know, they did the same thing to Iran, and they've done the same thing to some of these other countries, and didn't really pan out so well.
Right, Jeff. How about this point right here? Let's suppose for a second that Russia says, hey, man, yeah, I know that 80% of the oil that goes into Europe comes from Russia. Guess what? You want it? We want to be paid in Bitcoin. That's it. It's over. Done. We just want to be paid in Bitcoin. We want to receive funds in Bitcoin. Can we use the US dollar? No, you cannot. Can we use the franc? No, you cannot. How about the pound? Nope. So that's all I have to say. Listen, you want the oil? Great. We'll receive payment in Bitcoin. Or here are the 5 cryptocurrencies that we are willing to accept for payment. But let's suppose you're buying a lot and it takes a little bit longer than the transaction. You're going to have to pay the difference before you release it. Just saying.
Yeah. I think he brings up some solid points there, and I do believe, from a global perspective, there are going to be, a lot of difficulties, even though he might
without a
accept,
doubt, sure.
Say, hey, we want Bitcoin. You want to buy our gas, pay us in Bitcoin. Once they have the Bitcoin, then what are they buying? Then that means other entities will have to accept the Bitcoin. And then you go back to good old, fashion observation, and the powers that be will say, hey, company ABC, you're trading. It doesn't matter if you're using gold bullion or Bitcoin or whatever, it's out there. We know you're trading with them, and we're now we're going to put sanctions on you, and you're not going to do business. So the whole notion, though, of them trying to circumvent the system, whether or not, it could be easy or not easy, I think it's a kind of a non-starter to begin with. I think they'll have many other ways to move their asset and move their money. Bitcoin, digital asset, XRP, whatever they decide to use is just another means of payment. That's it. I don't
pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, it's
get big bundles of cash delivered to you on
Thomas Silkjaer is one of the amazing minds of the XRP community, and JayVTheGreat actually commented on it, saying, sad you had to point this out, but there's a lot of misinformation out there. K HUD says this: everything's great, man. What do you think about the market? It looks like we might be able to cash in soon. Something soon. Yeah, well, soon is a relative term. When you look at the beginning of history in mankind till now, for some it's a split second. So relatively soon, I do see that, depending on what happens this year, shouldn't get into this stuff, Jeff, because I'll start putting a tinfoil hat on. I'll be able to wrap it real tight. Got my own thoughts about this whole thing, but I do think there's going to be some pretty interesting changes. We got the midterms coming up. I think people are going to be absolutely blown away with what happens in the next 2 to 3 months. And I think by what happens in the US, but I think what happens globally too. The good guys are winning. Crypto is winning. Decentralization is winning. And sometimes people fight and they argue it a little bit. Go ahead, Jeff, throw that up there. Yeah, like, subscribe, click that notification bell. It's your first time. Why not? You're watching us right now. It's not this far. Why wouldn't you subscribe and say, hey, we'll check them out another time? They're different shows every night. A lot of the same sort of stories and goofiness.
It's pretty cool.
That's what you
pretty
get.
Cool. Man, Gray Man.
Dudes.
In it again. Dudes. Dude. Where's the other dude? I believe there is a plan, and that's the world leaders. Check it out. We're going back to
what we go back to?
What's it? All right. The world leaders are playing their part. Order out of chaos. Look at my left hand while slapped with their right hand. I mean, that's pretty much spot on. You look at what's going on here, and there's a little bit of trickery, a little bit of sleight of hand, a little bit of manipulation going on here, and I don't know. I think
a lot of manipulation going on there.
Getting a little crazy.
JV said cartoon bear, hands down. Hands down, I agree with that, JV.
We're getting close to the poll. Well, we need more people voting in the poll.
How are we doing on that poll? By the way,
it's sluggish. It's only 72
votes. I do have
votes.
a JV tweet in here.
How's that possible? It needs to be 100 votes. If you haven't voted, we need at least 100 people for it to prove poll worthy.
So I don't know what JV does, but I got to tell you something, man. He's becoming legendary on crypto Twitter. But look at this right here, Jeff. Here we go. So John Deaton puts out a tweet, says, look, I want to assemble all the clips or articles of Lubin discussing XRP. I could use some help. For example, I recall a clip or article wherein he stated XRP and Ripple were not competitors, but I can't find it. Who do we have here? There's JV's all over it, man. He's like, dude, right here. And he's like that everywhere, all over the internet. There it is. I think we should listen to this, but there it is. He's like, gotcha.
That's good, man. All right, we're at the end of the poll. We hit 10 minutes.
I'm going to set this video.
80 votes. We need 20 more votes. Otherwise, all right, this poll is going to come to an end at 80 votes. Oh, well, that's how it rolls. So the winner is Cartoon Bear with 56% of the vote. Nancy Pelosi, a close second, with 23%. Warren Buffett with 20, and not one person voted for Elizabeth Warren. She get 0% of the votes, and we're going to put up another vote here. Another poll coming up right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy talk, Jeff. What do you think about that? I mean, man, let me see if I can share this video. I'm going to try, do my best here. JV tweeted out. It was funny when John Deaton put that out. I was like, yeah, I remember seeing that video. Man, I kind of remember seeing something like that. And then I watched it. I was like, no, I think I was thinking of something different. But here, while we're waiting on that, let's see if we can actually hear the video, Jeff. I'm going to need your input right away. Make sure we can hear this.
Slightly, maybe.
Can you hear something, Jeff?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Or two.
Joe, what happens if other protocols that trade speed for centralization, or speed or centralization, I guess, for security is really the issue here, gain adherence in the interim between now and then? I'm thinking about Ripple, for example, or I'm thinking about EOS.
So Ripple isn't really a blockchain technology. It's a sort of a payment system. So I don't really consider that a competitor.
So let's say.
Well, see, if the host doesn't know, this is where you kind of like enlighten him a little bit. Yeah, Ripple creates software that utilizes XRP. It's like, right? Nobody says something like along those lines about that. Doesn't consider it.
Thinking about EOS.
So Ripple isn't really a blockchain technology. It's a sort of a payment system. So I don't really consider that a competitor.
So let's say EOS, for argument's sake.
EOS is a slightly, maybe slightly decentralized approach at building a blockchain system. We are moving into a world where we're going to have liquid deep markets for many different kinds of crypto assets.
What about deep liquidity markets? What about Liquidity Hub? Was that a competitor there, Joe? Okay, just asking.
Crypto commodities, equities, bonds, cryptocurrencies. In that world, you need a very decentralized trust layer. If you have, as your trust layer, 21 people who know one another, who regularly confer with one another, who can't govern their situation, and who are fighting.
Sounds like centralization to me. I'm sorry. 21 people. He always looks nervous, man. He always looks like he's going to say the wrong thing.
He looks very nervous, and
so this
God
is
knows thinks the same thing.
For the death of EOS?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
EOS is a sort of interesting technology, but it's incredibly dangerous to treat it as a layer 1 technology. It's a good layer 2 technology. If you link EOS in to a smart contract on Ethereum, you get the full security of the Ethereum network. All of the tokens in your layer 2 technology are protected by layer 1. If something goes wrong at layer 2.
Tell me more about the gas fees on the EOS network. Want to hear more about that while we're talking about it. But that's it.
Gas fees in general. De Havilland said that I sound different.
You do sound a little different. You have a little tone. You have a little something going on. A little something going on, Jeff. No, it's totally different. There's a little something different. Perhaps a little bit different. I don't know. I mean, what do you got going on there? And then, of course, one of our pals from the Blockchain Association, Ron Hammond, we can kind of step through that. You want to run through that a little bit? I'll throw that tweet up.
All right, I put up a poll here while you're doing that. I put up a poll. Jim D said, why don't you put up a poll that asked if you hit the thumbs up yet? So I did put up a poll that asked if you put up the thumbs up yet. Yes, no, or what are you waiting for? We got 8% voted. What are you waiting for?
So how many thumbs up do we have, Jeff? That's what I'd like to know.
Let's see. So likes, thumbs up. I'm a little bit shocked that it's only at 165 right now.
Disappointing.
But we got 81% said yes, 11% said no, and 8% basically said, what are you waiting for? So we'll bring that poll to an end.
And then there was like 3% that said, nobody cares anymore about polls. I'm done.
Right.
It's like, there's too many polls, man.
We didn't come in here to take multiple choice tests.
Oh man, I was going to come enjoy myself.
The
Hang
first one was
out, little
cool,
useless
but by the time
banter
you
once
got
in a
to the
while.
second one, it was just way too much work.
So Ronnie Hammond put this out. He said, this week in Congress and crypto, while this was expected, the Ukraine situation has shifted the ground when it comes to the entire legislative outlook for the rest of the year. As members return to DC and are briefed on the situation, here's a few areas worth monitoring. First is the narrative battle. The saying goes, never let a crisis go to waste, and we are seeing the pro and anti-crypto camps make their pitch. This is still an evolving situation, though. And Brett has
watching
highlights.
Our video the other night.
Brett Harrison has highlights.
We talked about that exactly.
We did, yeah.
Don't let a crisis go to waste.
Right.
Yeah, and he was definitely tuning in.
Rob was it Emmanuel that was the one?
Rahm Emanuel.
Rahm Emanuel, that's right.
I don't know if he coined it, but he definitely
made it famous.
He made it famous.
Immediate desire to act from Congress when it comes to financial deterrence and sanctions. Nothing's off the table. Fed Chair Powell will be testifying both chambers this week. What was supposed to be a COVID recovery inflation focus will now turn to Ukraine. I got to tell you, Jeff, I saw the best cartoon ever where you had two doors, and in one door was walking like a rocket, like a war, and the other one's like the COVID vaccine walking out the other door. So
yeah.
It's like it just ended, Jeff. It's like what a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle early.
Christmas miracle in the summer.
Isn't that amazing?
In March. But this is a great point, because had he had to go in front of right now, he's doing State of the Union tomorrow, right? So there's going to be a State of the Union. Had he had to talk about the recovery and inflation, it would have been a complete disaster.
All right,
so
Jeff.
Instead, he's got to talk about Ukraine.
Hang on a second, Jeff. Okay, excuse me, President Chip. I'm going to give the State of the Union in a couple words. It's a total freaking mess. It's just jammed up. It's messed up. Everything is wrong. From the inflation, it was going to be just a little bit of thing, and don't worry, it's under control, to driving it through the roof. And oh, that's right. Did we forget why the gas prices were going up? Yeah, it must be Ukraine. Ukraine, we're a week and a half in. Our gas prices have been rising for a year and a few months. That must be the thing. My vote, choose better candidates in the future. That's it, Chuck.
Choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
Use wisely. Don't do a multiple guess. You never take your multiple choice. You don't know the answer, so you just guess. But here's K HUD. I'm a politician, and I can decide what you want to understand and what I don't understand, but I'll manipulate it to where you're confused enough to where you believe me to be an intellectual. I'll convince you enough to where confuse you enough to where you'll believe that the sky is no longer blue.
Well, they always want to, they start hitting the buzzy words and stuff, but what's really going on is a complete and utter there's very little brain cells happening in Washington. It's just got to be I don't even know what this. It's out of its mind, Jeff. I mean, it's out of some.
What agency put out the new nuclear guidelines or whatever? And one of those under the guideline, I don't know if that was real or not. One of the criteria is if you're caught in an environment with a nuclear blast, make sure that you have a mask and you mask up to protect others around you from
That might have been the Babylon Bee there, but so Jeff, so they're trying to shift the narrative and say because of the whole Ukraine situation. See, the problem is that we don't fall for that anymore, and you guys go that direction, and you will be destroyed at the ballot box. I mean, just destroyed. If you think that San Francisco removing those 3 board members was something, just wait, because you are going to be destroyed. It's going to be an embarrassment. See, there's the immediate desire to act from Congress. Fed Chair Powell, I read that one. It says, watch how members now view the risks and benefits of the CBDC. As reports surface of Russia looking into a digital currency, many in Congress see this as an example of where the U.S. needs to lead, including Foreign Affairs Ranking Member Rep. Katie McAuliffe.
Nice.
And no, we don't need to lead on that. Nobody needs to lead on it. There's a whole problem with the CBDCs. You're wearing the color purple today. Don't like it. Sorry, OTC, you're banned. That's how it's going to go.
That's right. Yep.
Later in the month, the Dems will. What is that? What is that one? That's the U.S. House Committee on Finance. Well,
our favorite committee.
So they're going to have a hearing on CBDCs, which nobody cares about. And there's nobody here. Nobody in crypto gives a rat's behind about CBDCs or stablecoins. I just don't care.
It's so crazy. They keep, talking over and over and over again.
Nothing burgers. Nothing. Stupid.
When is that tweet from? That tweet must be a little bit old already. It's slated for the 29th. Are we in March already? Did March start officially?
I'm confused. Combating crypto usage, that's tomorrow, so it's the 29th, see, or 29th of March. Combating crypto usage and illicit finance has been an issue shared by both sides of the aisle. Goal is to prevent bad actors, but not stifle innovation. They keep just droning on with the same idiotic statements over and over again. Rep. Ted Budd, Financial Technology Protection Act. Questions remain, though.
They're posting old stuff here.
If there will be cause... Well, this one's from the 27th. Questions remain as though there be calls for more financial regulation or cuts from service as it relates to engaging with foreign nations and their citizens. Jesse Powell highlighted the potential problems with some of these approaches in his thread, which was good. Finally, the State of the Union tomorrow. Rumored executive order on crypto pushback. Who cares? It's going to be a disaster.
Pushback because of recent developments. Yeah. So now what?
Well, you kind of listen, if you're an educated person, you kind of say, okay, well, let's see, 2 of these things were good and 6 were bad. Okay, so there's probably, a percentage chance. Now, when it's all giant fail whales everywhere you can see, no one expects anything from an executive order. I mean, nobody, unless you're trying to save the midterms. Then you put out something that would actually be for the people, which is sit down and have a meeting. No, it's not that. It's a little stringent than that.
They're saying that Putin seems to be unstable. I think XRP Speedboat has got it spot on. He needs to go riding in on his white horse shirtless and go, full Lord of the Rings crazy on him. That'd be.
On the bright side, Jeff, it's been incredible seeing all the crypto support flooding into Ukraine after the recent tweet accepting crypto donations. Yeah, I think they're up to 20 million, which I guess is worldwide. I guess it's okay. The truckers were doing pretty good. They got to 20 million and there you go. Boring. It's not funny, Jeff. There's always somebody.
There's always one. There's always one out there.
And Jeff,
you know what time it is.
It's time to do that proverbial on the chain. Do it, Jeff.
You want to. So you guys have a general inkling notion that on the chain is on 6 days a week. Well, that's true. 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We come in here consistently providing great content.
It's
great
content,
fun,
Jeff.
With a great community. Why? Because we have by far the best, the brightest, and the smartest within the YouTube crypto space. Gather here all the time. And if you guys go over to the onthechain.io, go check out. You want to see some of the latest interviews that we've done. You want to see Eleanor Terrett. You want to see Brian Marnark, John Deaton, the Vagabond guys, XRPL, Meetup, or Congressman Tom Emmer, amongst many, many others. Go over to On the Chain. Go check out interviews. And then if you want to catch up some of our last posts, you can check those out too. It's very, very cool. They're all gathered right here. So a lot of great stuff. And Chip, with that, I got nothing else other to say that tomorrow night is another night, and we'll be back here
doing the same thing we do every day with updated topics and a lot of banter. Sometimes
exclusively on the chain.
On the chain, Jeff. Let's do it. Are you ready to get out of here?
I'm ready to get out of here.
Chip and Jab. Ow!
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.